And Christian, I'm curious,
Mhm.
do you, in your opinion, do you feel that there's more that the educational system should be doing to educate people about ADHD, especially for our young men?
Yeah. Oh man, we had a conversation about this maybe 2 years back, me, Mark, and John.
Hmm.
And we were
And
talking.
that, by the way, and that could be the whole podcast right there. That was
I guess I have to have y'all back. I guess I have to have y'all back to talk about it.
Yeah. I think and I think what I was positing at that point was that if we don't have a conversation about community and giving people a language, again, like giving people a language for the experience that they have, giving students and young boys, young people a language to describe, like, hey, I feel this is how I feel about what has happened to me at this moment, right? So like before this, I work at capacity building for nonprofits now, but before then, educating, right? And with social emotional learning, we're teaching kids kind of like regular work, boundaries, how to say no to another student, right? And then what we recognize in those conversations, right, is like within a conflict, right? Um, it's not necessarily like, oh, he stole my toy, like I like he's wrong or he's bad. It was like, why does he steal his toy? It was like, then you might find out as an educator, as an adult, like, oh, he doesn't have things at home. Wait, we need to address something else, right? And then, you know, from friends to friends, it was like, hey, this is your friend, but this bad thing happened. Okay, so what? How do you one child A advocate for yourself and say, hey, this was wrong, right? And child B is like, hey, this is happening, but can you talk to me, or is there another way for us to go about this? If you don't have those kind of like simple micro, the thing about the education system is we're so kind of like focused on the end product, on like testing and like grades and stuff like that. And now we're kind of like in the political space where it's like students can, as far as like identity is like, we care more about the identity for students and like what they could potentially learn that might be harmful or shape their minds afterwards. But we're still not giving these students like a vocabulary for how they will navigate and advocate for themselves outside of here, right? How much of, I guess, earth science have you used in the last week? Probably not a lot, right? Probably not a lot.
I feel like the answer should have been from me. So much earth science. I do it every day.
All the earth science.
I went down the James Webb Telescope Facebook page and I'm done, right? And I know that's not earth science, but it's kind of earth science because all the planets. Anyways, I'm done. I'm moving up.
As an ADHD person, we just hyper focus and then we learn it in 2 weeks anyway. So then what happens? And then we drop it. And then we're on to the next thing. So like, what did we really learn? But you know, the things that we need to learn: how to navigate a relationship. You know what I mean? How to budget. You know, how to, especially as a person with ADHD, I don't know how many conversations that we've had with our men with like, hey, let's talk about our finances. Let's demystify.
Oh
that,
man,
right?
if you don't people knew how much ADHD plays into the personal finance side of your life. I don't think people realize. I certainly didn't realize that some of my issues that I had when I was younger, when it came to money, came down to my impulsivity, came down to my ADHD. I had no idea. And it's funny how much more money is in my bank account when I learned how to manage my ADHD. That's odd.